Hey, what's going on, guys? First off, I want to say I am really not beating a dead horse here, talking about oil and fuel shortages and stuff like that. Been getting a ton of comments accusing me of suggesting that we're going to run out of fuel, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not saying that we are. I doubt that we will. I just cannot fathom that would happen. And I've said it before that between private industry and the government, that there would not be some actions that would be taken to prevent that from happening. But I absolutely believe that we could run into shortages. I think that is a distinct possibility. And I saw another just recent, within the last 2 or 3 days, there was an article where ExxonMobil's senior vice president Neil Chapman, I'm looking at an article right now, issued a stark warning to the public that energy prices may explode upward in the coming weeks. And what he's basically saying is that Chapman warned that crude oil prices could go as high as $160 per barrel in the coming weeks as dwindling reserve inventories finally bottomed out. Now, reserve inventories, it's not just the United States reserve, which is declining. It's world reserves are declining. So with this issue with Iran, which, depending upon what source you look at, supplied upwards of 20 to 30%, some say higher, of the world's oil, a lot of countries are not getting what they were getting before. So they're dipping into, just like the United States is, they're dipping into their reserves. That has created or provided a buffer that they've been able to rely on. But those reserves are shrinking. And I'll say it again, I am no petroleum industry expert. I try to use some facts and some common sense. And, again, I've seen what other people are saying. Again, you can go back and look at a couple of my other videos. I shared some links to some different articles. And when I first started to read them, I was like, you got to be kidding me. We're not going to run out of gas. I do remember several times in my life when we had severe shortages. After Hurricane Katrina, I lived in the Southeast. We had severe shortages. And people were researching and trying to figure out ways to squeeze miles per gallon out of their vehicles. Driving down a hill, throwing it in neutral, just trying to get a few more miles out of that tank full of gas. And then I can remember, I'm sure there were other times back in the 70s, I was a kid and sitting in the back of my parents' car and just laying down on the back seat as we sat in line for a couple hours waiting to get gas, because there were a lot of gas stations that didn't have it. It's happened before, and no doubt it will happen again. Now, is it going to happen right now? I don't know. I'm just sharing my concern. So this guy, Senior Vice President Neil Chapman from Exxon, said we're approaching unheard inventory levels. I mean, really, really low levels. This is a quote. You can debate whether that it's going to hit those really low levels in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Once you get to that point, you'll see prices shoot up. Commercial inventories of crude oil, of liquids, think petroleum, gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, they've all run down. And running down those inventories has mitigated or offset and supplemented by the release of strategic petroleum reserves, which most of the Western countries have done. All of that has mitigated the impact. So he's basically saying that we're in a crisis situation. We've been in a crisis situation, and governments, Western governments, have mitigated that problem by using oil that was reserved in case of an emergency. What it seems like is that these governments are not warning their people, if this is to be believed, that, you hear in the United States that there's going to be a deal and gas prices are going to drop to, super low, the best lowest ever. I don't believe that's going to happen. I'm sure you don't either. But my concern is that it's going to jack up in price. And then we're going to continue to see the economic hardships that most of us are experiencing now. It's the constant rising prices of almost everything. And if we see oil shoot up the way that Exxon's vice president is suggesting that it will, then when it comes to an inflationary atmosphere and conditions, we haven't seen anything yet. So, I think for most of us, there's not a whole lot we can do. We're not going to go and put back 100 gallons of gasoline, especially at these prices. Those that are financially, independently wealthy, good, they can do that. But maybe you can stock up on some of the items that you use on a regular basis. I preach this all the time. This is a homesteading and preparedness channel. And from a preparedness perspective, you can go and you can stock up on food and buy bulk rice, beans. You can buy some canned goods, and anything you buy now, I would almost guarantee is going to be more expensive later. So it's almost like putting money in the bank and actually earning interest. So again, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here. I'm not crying wolf. There is evidence out there, there's data out there that says that even if there is some magical agreement made with Iran, that we're still heading in this direction. It's not going to change overnight. It's not going to change in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully this doesn't happen. And best case, maybe we just keep going down the path that we've been going. There's no reasons for it to improve, and there's a lot of reasons why it could get worse. So please share your beliefs. What do you think? And if you disagree, tell me, and tell me why. Why do you disagree? Why do you think that this information is not true? And 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, which we're going to be coming around the 4th of July, that, things are going to be the same or better. I'd love to hear it. And I hope that's the case. One other thing I will say, and I've said it before, and I'm going to stick to it. This is not a political channel. I do not want to get into politics. I just look at situations and environments that we're in. But it's very disappointing to see what is happening with Iran, with the Strait. Whether we should have done anything or not, it is what it is. And we keep hearing about that Iran wants a deal. And I just bring this up because it can guide some of our actions. If somebody thinks, oh yeah, we're getting ready to have a deal and things are going to improve, then they may not take the necessary action to benefit themselves and their family, to be better prepared, if they believe that. And I don't believe it. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but we consistently hear Iran wants to make a deal. They want to make a deal. But we got to make sure it's the right deal, the best deal ever. And we hear, yep, they want to make a deal, but then they're turning around and they're taking military action against civilian ships and stuff. And it seems like that a country that wants to make a deal would not do that. So I just think that this is going to go out for a while. And it would be in everybody's best interest to take some steps, take some actions to be better prepared. So, again, let me know your thoughts. Comment below. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you got anything out of this video, hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't. I'm going to be doing a lot more homesteading, gardening. I wouldn't say farming. I don't have a farm. I have a very small little homestead here in central Maine. But we're going to be doing a lot more videos that's on that end. And then also doing some videos that are related to preparedness. So, and once in a while, maybe a little life philosophy. Might throw that in there. So, anyways, I appreciate you guys stopping by again. You guys stay safe, take care, and we'll see you next time.
So I ran from the cities and the noise and lies, found a piece of ground under open skies, hands in the dirt, sweat on my shirt, learning what living's really worth. While crooked men shake hands in rooms, selling souls to corporate suits. Society's sick, but I found the cure. A back road life, honest and pure. They can keep their throne and their golden news. This life out here's my modern exodus. I traded screens for a sunrise, callous palms, blisters, pride, planted seeds where hope